Welcome to Educators with Oil. I'm your hostess, Ronette Branham, here to offer biblical strategies for effective teaching. I have a very special guest today, and that guest is Stefanie Branham, and she is a Franklin Township Board of Education candidate. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about Stefanie before she comes on and I introduce her. Well, I'll say, how are you doing today, Stefanie?
I'm good, and you?
I'm great. I'm ready to get started and see what this campaign is all about. So I have a short bio that I'm going to read about Stefanie. Stefanie launched her campaign for Franklin Township Board of Education, encouraging community members to support her run as a first-time candidate on November 7th. So this is her first time running. So she is a strong advocate for student success for all warriors, including those from the undeserved and minority communities in our district. Every child deserves a champion, someone who won't give up on them. That is a quote from Stefanie. Her desire to run was inspired by the difficulty she had faced in advocating for her own daughter. Stefanie understands that all children are uniquely different and every child needs someone to support, encourage, and believe in them. Stefanie wants to be an advocate for all children, despite their unique challenges. She wants to help close the gap in communication between the Board of Education, parents, and the students. As a proud mother of three and former student of Franklin Township Public School System, she has directly observed the challenges her children and others have faced in seeking opportunities for success beyond the classroom. Her oldest son, Zaire, was a proud graduate of Franklin High School and gave Stefanie her first opportunity to become known as a team mom when he practiced in baseball, football, and basketball. Today, her two younger children are actively involved in township recreation sports. Her son is a rising fifth grader at Claremont Elementary School with a history of success in athletics and Pop Warner football, tennis, basketball, and soccer. Her daughter is a high achieving rising seventh grader at Franklin Township Middle School who has been named MVP of her basketball team and been nominated for the National Junior Honor Society. So Stefanie has a lot of experience with her children in Franklin Township. Her oldest, well, she'll tell us about how long he was in Franklin Township schools, and she's actively working at Oticon, which is a hearing aid company. She's been there for about 15 years. Is that right? I get that right, Stephanie?
That's right. That's right.
Okay, so I just want to actually what I read is what I was going to ask you. Ask you. So I just want to say, so what really made you run? I understand you have kids in the Franklin Township schools. You had struggles, but that doesn't mean you want to run. You had struggles with the first one in the district. So what made you want to run now?
So I was motivated by even all of the changes that's happening in our day to day lives, and I want to be a part of those changes and have an impact on the kids and closing the gap between parents and the administratives and students, also being a voice for them. So I didn't realize, I always thought I was really active in the school district. I always felt like I showed up to things, I showed up to games, I always kept in contact with the teachers. And I didn't realize how disconnected I was until I ran into some struggles that I had. And I realized I had no say so in anything because of so many policies that stopped me and prevented me from even fighting um, battles and that I was faced with. And so I realized that you have to be a part of the change, a part of the policies that are put into place, and a voice, and making sure that other parents know that they have to be present, even on the board meetings, when policies are being put into place.
Okay, I was responding to a person who made a comment. One second. So that I said, yeah, I found that too because you're my daughter. I'm right there with you. I that didn't make me want to run. I thought about it, but I think you 100% are the better candidate, and you have a better chance of winning. And so the struggles, can you elaborate, or is that something that is too much? You don't have to go into detail about the struggles, but what kind of things what kind of things happen between the parents and the board of education where you will be a member once you're nominated, once you're elected? What kind of things do parents need to know, or where's the gap?
So one thing I want to do is I just want to get out in the street and get to know a lot of the parents, and to even see some of their struggles that they are going through, or some successes, some things that we need to keep going, some things that we need to look further into. Franklin Township is big, and there's more than just the public schools that the administrators and the board have control over. When you think about the charter schools that are in the area, things that they need that the administrators are in control of, some things that they want to benefit from, some things that they love, they want to continue, because the policies are reviewed regularly, and there's new policies that are coming in place that I definitely want to get out and make sure that parents are informed of even the policies that are put into place now. There are some things that the Board of Education has done great, but we're just not aware of it.
Yeah, so okay, so how do you know like some of the things? What would you tell a parent that thinks they're involved because they're attending every game with their child? They're talking to the teachers, they're going to parent teacher conference, they're going to back to school night, math night, reading night. So what would you tell a parent?
The first thing that I would suggest or recommend is going to some of the monthly board meetings, reading some of the minutes, seeing things that are on the agenda, things that are dear to your heart, maybe something you want to voice, or an opinion that you want to give. Also, going on their website, just reviewing the policies that already are in place.
Oh yeah, because you know what? Well, I went to a board meeting and I didn't see anybody. I think I saw one person. So we think we're fighting because we're at the technical level where the teachers are. We think we're fighting, but that's some things. Yes, that's some things I think you need to
And
put
not
out there
always,
to parents.
not necessarily always fighting. Also, I think just being aware, because some things don't really affect you directly, but indirectly they do. Even with the curriculums, things like that, our academics, our athletics, things that down the road that your child would be interested in, that they could benefit from, that may be eliminated or brought on, or just suggestions. I think being at the board meetings is necessary.
Yeah, because you can know what's happening with the budget. You can know what's happening, like you said, with the changes of
Mhm.
curriculums. Why did they change this? They will say that at a board member. I'm assuming. So,
Mhm.
what do you say to parents? Okay, you're running. What do you? I have a couple questions. What do you say to parents who don't vote, who won't vote, who are not registered, who maybe want to vote but they don't know the candidates?
So I will be honest. Not that I'm not. I'm usually honest. I'm sometimes too honest. But there were many years that I skipped over even the small elections. They're very important, even for the big elections, because things that who you're voting for, they're making decisions for the future. They're making decisions for your grandkids that will be implemented, that will affect you or your sister's child or someone in your family. So I definitely think getting to know the candidates, getting to know the entire board, not just even for Board of Education, even the mayor, getting in contact, keeping in contact with the mayor's office, and everyone that's under the mayor. So not only getting to know the candidates, because as you see there are three different sections on the bat that's going to be on a ballot, and there's groups of people. So not just one person because you know one person, but get to know everybody that's on the list, and more so going out to actually meet them face to face, having conversations, personal conversations, one-on-one conversations, and not just reading their bio. Get to know them, get to know what they believe in, what they're fighting for. I think a lot of our board has been in place and the same people for so long, sometimes keeping the same thing in and continue to doing the same thing. Some things are working, some things are not. Sometimes it's good to switch it up. I think that I have experience from so many different levels, not only just having kids in the Franklin Township school, but I also took my kids out and experienced private school. So I know some things that I love there that I would love to help implement here. Also, growing up, having family members in this town, I'm a warrior. I have been in Franklin Township my entire life, so it is dear to my heart. I've been seeing struggles in my family members or struggle in my kids, my friends' children, that may not be as fortunate as some. And so having somebody to advocate that for them. A lot of times we get up, we are so used to our routines. We put our kids on the bus and we send them to school, and then they come home. We don't even know what their day to day is like. We don't know the classes that they're taking. And I just, one thing that I'm looking more into, of how things are changing, I think that we send our kids to be educated, not indoctrinated. And so that's something that I'm looking into and I'm praying about, and trying to see what also decisions the board can make, what they can't do. So I'm excited, and I do believe that I will be elected on November 7th, with the help of so many others, because that's just where my heart is. And my heart is for the children. And I feel the children don't have anybody advocating for them. And so that is my number one goal.
And so, what are you looking forward to from now until November 7th? What are you looking to see happen? Because, like I said, there are people who don't vote in small elections, which is an essential election for our
Mm-hmm.
township. Some
Mm-hmm.
people are not registered to vote. So, what are you looking to see in the next 2, 3 months? The
So I
2 months.
want to go door to door. And even to see who is registered, if you're not, why, and educate them on how important and why it's important to register, and not only to register but to actually go out and vote, and be a part of even the day-to-day changes, things that are happening in the township, being more involved and not just showing up, saying hey, because we have kids, we have grandkids that are going to be here, kids that are moving into the town, and we want to make sure that they get the best of everything.
So I take it you are, and you are looking for more people to vote, like just more
Yes.
people in general,
Mm-hmm.
because like I said, there are times I voted, sometimes I didn't. Sometimes I voted for people I don't even know. I just
But
looked
you
at a
recognize
name.
their name,
Yeah,
so that was something that another thing that I've done in the past. I don't know much about you, but I know your name and I see you around and I see you at events and I'm like, okay, and then you vote for them. But getting to know the candidates more than just for face value.
so how you gonna do that? How would I get to know, like, uh any candidate, not even the candidate, the board members? How would I do that? Do we see them anywhere, or do we have to go to the board member
I think
meetings?
going to the board meetings. You also can go on the Franklin Township site, and look at the board members, and you can see bios about everyone. But a lot of times you will find that they are attending events. A lot of the local events, you will see them, and going up to the candidates, ask questions, the hard questions, the things, let them know what's dear to your heart. Each time and every time you see them.
Yeah, we saw one guy a few times at a few different things, and then um, other people I don't know. We saw, maybe I saw 2 or 3 people over the years, or if I have seen them, I didn't know who they were. Um,
Mm-hmm.
like we saw the um, previous mayor who's running for mayor this time. We saw him at an event.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how many were there, but that is sounds like a good idea
Mm-hmm.
to vote. So what do you think? I know you want to get involved once you get become a member, but what do you think is gonna happen? Like, okay, I'm now, people voted for me. Now I'm a part of the board. So what is your first step to do what?
So I don't think changes are made immediate. I have done enough research to know that I've spoken to a lot of previous board members, um, and it's a process. And I anticipate being a board member for years to come. Um, re-election and things like that, beyond my kids not being, is something that I am dedicated to. And not just making change just for things that just I believe in, but what's best for the children, best for the community. And I understand times have changed. And so not everything the way I used to know it, or this time, day and age, moving with what's best in the best interest of the children
Yeah, I
and fighting
think
for that. Like I
yes.
definitely would be one on the board of, I'm not one to just go with the flow. I want to go with what's right. And actually, if I have to, continue to fight.
And advocate, and then sounds like you have to do a lot of research. Are you
Hmm.
prepared for that research? Because you just surface level things look great. Things look great. It sounds great. Everybody's for the kids. It looks great. So it sounds like there's a lot of research. Have you begun that research now, or is that
I
something
have.
you look forward to doing?
I have. Um, and previous to this, again, like I say, I send my kids off, and the principals, vice principals, staff. And because I grew up in the area, I always felt like I knew everybody. You show up to the school and everybody knows you, you know them, they know your family members. But it's so much more to it. It's more than just going to the principal office and saying, "Hi, I'm Stephanie. Nice to meet you." It's being there. It's being on the PTO. It's being even volunteering for things, or even for the Board of Education, going in, having meetings with the student advocacy, the superintendent, to see what the plan is for the next couple years.
Yeah, because they will meet with you. It's
They
not
will.
like they won't meet with us. We
Hmm.
just aren't doing it unless we have an issue. That's what I
Hmm.
find. There may be some people who are excited and they want to go in and talk to the superintendent, tell him how what good a job he's doing, or the student advocacy. But I do know they will meet with you. So
Yes, yes.
that sounds like a plan.
Hmm.
That really sounds like a plan. Um, Trying to see. So you are active in sports, so you should know quite a bit of people. You've been in sports for how many years? I don't know. Um,
Well, I started out, my oldest son is 21. He started out in baseball and flag football at 5. So I've been in tennis, basketball, baseball, all of those areas for quite a few years.
so you've been team mom,
Hmm.
team mom. I know running up and down the highway is something. So you have to had made friends. You had to connect with parents. I think you have a great chance
Not
just for
even
the
that, I have a lot
connection.
of family, a lot of family friends in the area. Again, being from here, moved away and came back, but still know a good amount of people in the area. And it's more to just who you know. It's also, I have a lot of support and people that believe in everything that I believe in and know my dedication to my children. And so one thing I have noticed is that there is quite a few kids and there's children that don't have someone behind them to push them, and they're our future. And so if they don't have that support and that push behind them, we could lose them.
Yeah,
It's
it
really
that's a
important.
slippery slope, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, because I remember, like you said, you send your kids to school and you hope for the best. That's what
Hmm.
we do. We think
Hmm.
they're being educated the way they should be. So yeah, there is a need for representation within the
Hmm.
Board of Education. I think you will bring that uh, diverse add to the
Yes.
diversity. I think that because you can see people who they may be the same race as you, but there's a difference in the representation. They might be from another area of Franklin. They may have grown up differently. So that diversity, I believe, is much needed so we
Hmm.
could all be represented.
And when I say diversity, I mean more than just race. Actually, I
Yeah,
think that's the last thing I think of when I think of diversity. I think of so many other things, experiences, opportunities. There is so much when I say diversity. I think the board it definitely looks diverse. I don't know how diverse because I only know it surface. Once I get in, I mean views and dedication and so much more when I mean diversity.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I said
Hmm.
the somebody could look like you, but they have a total different upbringing. They
Hmm.
may represent this demographic over here, and race absolutely is one of the last things, because race doesn't define a person,
Hmm.
and it doesn't. So you could, and a family, you could have two people from the same family, and you have diversity.
Hmm.
So I'm looking forward to uh I'm looking forward to this race, because this is exciting. I'm looking forward to see what happens from now to November. I'm looking forward to what's happening November 7th. So are you a registered voter?
I am. Yes. Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Good. Good.
So so that's one of the first questions I ask also. And I don't, when I meet, I've met so many new parents. I've met so many um politicians and things that are in the area that I didn't even know existed. So, and finding and listening to their story, that's the first thing I ask. One, are you registered to vote? And the majority of people say yes. And then when you say, do you vote? A lot of people don't vote. And if they do, they skip over the school board section because they don't know. It doesn't mean much to them and they just skip over it. But it's important because they are our future.
Right, because we look for the big every 4 year
Hmm.
presidential election,
Hmm.
and we get out if we can, if we remember, like this November. This is a local election. I can't even say small, because there's
Hmm.
nothing small about this election, because it is actually affecting us, affecting our children, affecting our community,
Hmm.
and this is not. There's nothing little about that. Um, is there anything else you want to share or request of parents, of community members, not just parents, because you could be 21 and you don't have children? So, is there anything else you would suggest, ask, uh, request from any community members going forward?
So, um, just have conversations, table conversations. Anytime you're meeting with new family members, having dinner, bring up the conversation of the November 7th election, for all the different areas on the election, and pass the word. Consider me as your vote. I would so much appreciate it. If you want to get to know more, follow me. I have a candidate page on Facebook. You can reach out. I will be at Franklin Day. I will have a table. I'm happy to speak with parents, principals, teachers, anyone in Franklin Township. Also outside of Franklin Township, we could learn from others, and things that are working, things that are dear to your heart, that you want me to know, and things that you want me to bring to the table once I'm elected. I'm all ears.
Sounds great. I'm excited. I really am excited about this election. I'm excited about what we'll learn. I say we because I'm right there. What we'll learn during this process, what we'll learn by some of the things we already learned by looking into the policies that are already in effect that we had no clue about. So that is something that's uh, parents need to understand, because we could just go to the Board of Education website and look
Yeah.
up policies.
Hmm.
That was that like eye opening to you?
Yeah, I still haven't quite digested it all yet. I am disappointed in myself. There's still so much work I have to do because things that are I didn't even know happened. And to that's why policies could be put in place because nobody knows, nobody can give their opinion, nobody can voice any concern or something. Oh my God, I love this. No, no, not for my child. So
Yeah.
because you don't know these things are happening, for me to read some of them, I was like, no, I felt like at some point like I failed my kids, and now I know I haven't. So this fight is not only for my children, but it's beyond them because I know that I'm doing everything that I have to do in my home, and they have resources and opportunities that I can just at any moment say, okay, we're changing this or we're changing that. But I think about all the kids that are less fortunate, and the disconnect between so many areas between the administrative and the parents and the children not having voices or don't know that their voice matters and their opinion matter. um, that's really what couldn't allow me to sleep at night, and I had to actually pursue being on the ballot to be a candidate.
Yeah, well, you know what you did. We know what we know. You don't know what you don't know. So we can never beat ourselves up because of what we don't know, because that doesn't even make sense. You could say, like, if people come and tell you things, you're like, oh, I didn't know that. Now, if you don't do anything with it, that's another story.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't know, I'm a teacher. I never looked at policies, and I'm upset about some of the things that are happening in my district and this district. I don't go to any meetings. I've never gone. I have gone online. Franklin Township used to have a a channel. I don't know if they
Mm-hmm.
still have it. That's when we had regular TV back
Mm-hmm.
in the day. And I used to see that channel, used to see their board meetings. I don't remember a lot of people then either. And Franklin Township is getting bigger and bigger. Can you imagine if all the parents, all the parents of students in Franklin Township, whether they go to a charter school, because they're affected as well,
Mm-hmm.
go to a meeting, we won't have room for them. We won't have room. That room is not that big.
And that's one of the goals. That is actually something on my list that I have to check off. Just bringing awareness, you know.
And yeah,
And
I
now
think
every conversation I have, I am definitely bringing um, awareness to just to the website alone. We go to it and we check in on our kids' grades and their schedules, and that's it. And we put some money in their lunch account and we keep it moving. We put them on the bus and, get them off, and that's it. But it's so much more. Um,
and yeah, and if we have an individual concern, we talk about that,
yes.
but we don't know the driving force behind
Hmm.
whatever's happening.
Hmm.
So this is something.
Hmm. But even when you have a concern, like I have in the past have some concerns, you address it. If nothing happens, you move on with your day. You don't continue to say, why? Can somebody explain this to me? And the more you dig, you're like, okay, wait, no, so and things that are working. I love that I see so many of the faces of people that I grew up with now in positions that can make change, principals, vice principals. I love to see that. I love people to see that they have not only have done great things but came back and want to give to the community.
Yeah, because I had a teacher. She was my gym teacher. I didn't know she was in college still. She was my gym teacher. She became one of your principals.
Hmm.
So then she was a principal for years. So you see different people. We have family members, extended family members who are teachers in the community. We have people there who,
Hmm.
it seems like, because we have people there, we will be more involved in what's happening. But like I said, we don't know what we didn't know. Now we know you have to be accountable for
Hmm.
that. And also, this is great that you're running. I know people are telling you that, commending you. I have my lawyer. He was like, I don't live in Franklin Township, but I know some people. I know a lot of people in our family, and I'm going to talk to them. And he
Hmm.
said, she had to have a good upbringing. I was saying,
Hmm.
she had to have a good upbringing to do something like that. I said, I don't know. Sometimes we are driven to do things. So I'm
Sometimes
just,
you're called to do them, but as growing up, like I mean, you had a girls club and you gave back to the girls in the community right around the area and around us. So I mean, it's just something that I've always seen, and I always have had a heart for children. They're so innocent, they can't make decisions on their own, like they have no control over things. And so I've always had a heart for children.
yeah, this is something. It's definitely a calling. It's definitely a calling to advocate for children. There's definitely a calling. I can't see it in any other way, because some people, you can teach or you can work in the district or because you saw somebody do it, but that doesn't mean you can do it. And then to be have it in you to do it, that's a calling. That's something like God given talent, God given anointing that you want to do it. So this again, I don't want to keep saying the same thing. This again is exciting. I am excited about this election.
Me too.
Again,
It's
I ask
exciting.
people. It is.
Even
It's,
the
I
whole
said it's so
road,
fun.
the whole, like every step of the way is I didn't expect it to be this. I didn't know what to expect, but
Oh
I
yeah.
just knew that this is something that I had to do.
Right. It is not from day one. It wasn't what we thought. Right.
Hmm.
I don't. It wasn't. You learn so many things, and you're like, oh, I have to do that. Oh, we have to do that. I have to do this. Oh, I can't do that. Like you are really learning, and then you're like, what
And it's
policy?
positive.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, what's your story and what made you do this? It had to be something that happened. And I mean, there are situations that have happened along the way that motivated it, but there's so much good also that you can give and to be a part of some change, some great changes and opportunities brought to our town that we don't have at the time right now.
Right. And also, it brought your daughter out when
Hmm.
you were at what was it called? Was the
Week
day?
of the People, Week of the
Week of the
People.
People.
Hmm.
Tell me just a little quickly. You can tell me a little thing about that, how that affected your daughter.
So, my daughter is very reserved, quiet, hu- extremely humble. She is a high achiever. She strives for perfection, even though I explained to her and there's no such thing. And so this is something that she also encourages me to continue to do, because the things that she sees on a day to day, things that she experienced in the school system, and come changing from public school, private school to back to public school, things that she would love to be implemented. So we were out Week of the People. It was really nice. Beautiful day, really hot, but beautiful day. So many people from even from the area of where I grew up, like young, were out. I reconnected with and brought her clean out of her shell. She's not one to go up to talk to anybody that she doesn't know. She does not talk to strangers at all. She started getting cars and passing out cars and having conversations with people and kids, and to tell their mom, look for my mom, on the ballot, vote for my mom. And adults were asking her, just asking her, what made your mother run and things like that. And she was just having full blown conversations, and I was looking like, whoa. But it did. It's bored out of shell. She's excited. She's excited to go door to door. My son also. My older son came up from down south to be a part, to be there and support. But it definitely brought her out of shell, and it has motivated her to make change.
Yeah, I was joking. I was saying, okay, now you're gonna have to run to be class president. She's like, no. So I'm like, yeah, we're gonna get you there.
Yeah, yeah.
But
This is just the beginning for her, and she knows that
yeah,
it all began with her.
yeah.
And one of the things is a situation that she had. I said, hey, I could either just fight for you, right? Cause I have to make a decision. I could just fight for you and for what's right, or it's a bigger fight, and I could fight for so many other kids. And I'm about to cry because she said, I want you to fight for all the other kids and be
Hmm.
there so that they can experience what I experience on a day to day with you. And that it just was like, don't you worry. I am going to not only win, but do everything and every dream that kids have, the opportunities that they wish that they had in the school district, and the support. I'm going to definitely make sure that I make that happen.
You know what I was thinking, for being an advocate for children is great because you said it in your quote about having somebody there advocating for you, having somebody on your side that is there for you. And that is something that every child should experience. Not everyone does, and everyone should. And just being that advocate, because it's not like you said, it's not all about fighting, it's about representation, because it's about educating the children. That's
Hmm.
that's
Hmm.
my thing,
Hmm.
educating the children. I don't know. What are we here for? What are we here for? You said this is the Board of Education. We're here to educate the students. So that is something, and I know your daughter has to be feeling big inside that her mom is running, and that her mom is standing up for rights, just basic civil rights, basic educational rights. Because once you learn about one right, your mind is open up to other rights that you have, and
Mm-hmm.
so that is something to instill in children, and I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. So I'm not going to hold you any longer. I think this was uh good. I think it went well, and I'm excited. Remember, everyone, November 7th, go out and vote for Stefanie Branham, Board of Education candidate. She's on the line all by herself, so you just have to make one little check, one little click. You don't have to read everybody else's stuff. If you want to vote for the other two, go ahead, because there's 3 seats.
Yeah,
But her column is Stefanie.
I'm number
I,
one.
she's the first one in
I
on
am
the
the,
on the
I'm
line.
listed first on the ballot.
Right. That's exciting in itself. There's statistics behind that, and that's exciting. So November 7th, remember, get out. Polling places open at 7 a.m. You can go before work. I think they close at 8. I'm not
Yes, you
sure.
also can do mail-in ballots. So I will be going door to door with not only mail-in ballots for you guys, but some stamps if you don't have the stamp and you got to mail it in. And also keep an
Helping
eye
people
out for upcoming events. I am looking to do a couple exciting events, some social gatherings, some meet and greets, and some more live. I have so many questions that people are asking that I will be answering in each live. Um, and follow me on Facebook and stay connected. Also, help me get out there with me. Go door to door to make sure parents are aware of not only just my name, but things that need to be done.
right, and knowing that there's going to be, well, there's representation, but there's going to be a different kind of representation, representing that person who feels like they're not represented. And
Hmm.
um again, if you're not registered to vote, you will show people when you meet people how to register to vote. Is that true?
Yes, I'll also post the deadline for if you're not registered to vote, you have a deadline in October to register to vote. And I will put some links and some QR codes on my Facebook page.
I'm excited, ready to go, ready to see what happens this trip after November 7th, because people don't know what's happening. People are sitting back, all comfortable, and there's going to be a whirlwind come through there November 7th. There was a whirlwind happen when they pulled your name to be number one on the ballot. So we are ready. Again, this is I'm Ronette Branham with Educators with Oil. Remember to take your oil with you, and have a blessed day.
Thank you.